Here's a step-by-step inspection process. Number one, surface drainage, and this is section R401.3 in the International Residential Code. We all check this surface drainage. So check the grading as a home inspector. You want to inspect the slope of the ground around the foundation. That's what we do. We want to ensure that there's a minimum fall of 6 inches within the first 10 feet away from the foundation. That's from code, and that's section R401.3. We also want to inspect the drainage systems. We want to look for functional storm sewers, drains, or swales that direct water away from the foundation, and that's a reference to code R401.3. We also want to assess the impervious surfaces, like a concrete sidewalk or a concrete driveway. We want to verify that the concrete or the asphalt surfaces within 10 feet of the building are sloped at least 2% away from the foundation, and that's a reference to code, same section, R401.3. We also want to identify barriers. We want to note any physical barriers, such as walls or slopes, that could prevent proper grading around the house. We want to confirm that alternative drainage solutions like drains or swales are in place. And that's that reference to code 4013. Foundation anchorage. Let's move to a new section of code, section R403.1.6. As a home inspector, I could check the anchor bolt diameters and the spacing. During a pre-drywall inspection, I'll certainly do that. I want to ensure that the anchor bolts are at least a ½ inch thick in diameter and spaced no further than 6 feet apart from each other, with proper end spacing. And that's section 403.1.6. I also want to inspect the embedment depth of the anchor bolt. So I want to check for bolts that extend at least 7 inches into the concrete or masonry. I want to review seismic requirements. For homes in seismic zones, I want to confirm additional anchoring requirements, such as the use of plate washers and reduced bolt spacing. And that's section 403.1.6.1. I also want to examine bolt placement. I want to ensure that bolts are located in the middle third of the plate width, the sill plate width. They should be right in the middle, not on the ends or the edges. And that's a code reference to section R403.1.6. Now, what about foundation drainage and waterproofing and damp proofing? Well, that's section R405 and R406. Foundation drainage systems. I want to check for the presence and proper installation of drainage tiles, gravel drains, or perforated pipes around the foundation, and that's section 405.1. The drainage placement and depth. I want to verify the drainage material extends 1 foot beyond the footing edge and 6 inches above with proper gravel or crushed rock installed, and that's section 405.1. How about inspecting the damp proofing on exterior walls? Well, I want to look for appropriate damp proofing materials on the exterior foundation walls that are below grade, such as the bituminous coating or acrylic modified cement, and that's section R406.1. I want to check for parging on the masonry walls. I want to confirm that the masonry walls have that minimum 3/8 of an inch thick layer of parging, cement parging, unless it's otherwise exempt. You want to examine waterproofing in the high water table areas. You want to ensure waterproofing materials are used and applied to specified levels, and that's section R406.2. You want to verify joint sealing for waterproofing. You want to check that all joints in membrane waterproofing are properly lapped and sealed. Now, underfloor spaces. That's the International Residential Code, section R408. Let's inspect the ventilation openings. You want to verify the number and size of ventilation openings, ensuring they meet the required area of 1 square foot per 150 square feet of space and are within 3 feet of each corner. Then inspect the covers for ventilation openings for crawl spaces. Ensure that the covers on openings are made from a approved materials and have the correct dimensions to prevent pest entry. Then you want to check for vapor retarder in unvented spaces. You want to confirm installation, the overlap, and the sealing of the vapor retarder. And it's a vapor retarder, not a barrier. And that's section R408.3. And then access. Measure and check that the floor and wall access openings to the crawl space meet minimum size requirements, and that's R408.4. And then inspect for debris and the finish grade. You want to look for and document any vegetation, organic material, or construction debris that needs to be removed. Confirm that the grade is suitable and meets drainage and flood requirements. And then you can check for flood resistance. Inspect for proper flood openings and ground level requirements in flood-prone areas. And that's section R408.7. Inspect the vapor retarder for insulation. Inspect the insulation in climate zones requiring a vapor retarder. That's section R408.8.